Hello everyone. Thank you for your overwhelming response on the earlier video. I understand from a lot of comments that you all want strategy for intermediate exams, and I'll be coming up with that soon. Meanwhile, as a lot of you all have told me that they want my strategy since I've secured 86 marks in law. So I'm here to discuss how I approached law right from the beginning. So right before the study leave when I started my coaching to one day before the exams, how was my preparation for law? So let's get started. Point number one, so coaching, obviously, as I discussed, should be done before your study leave. So I had done my coaching from JK Shah classes, and there in law, so in company law, our professor used to teach us and make us write section-wise handwritten notes, especially for directors, inspection, inquiry, investigation, compromise, arrangement, amalgamation. So for all these bigger chapters, I had handwritten notes and summaries, and for the smaller chapters, I had made markings in my textbooks. So basically, the source for me was, as for the three chapters which I said, it was my handwritten notes plus the modules. And for economic laws, it was modules. So I'll now quickly run you through the first read. So in the first read, what I had done is I did not do company law and economic law together. I had bifurcated both. And so first I did company law, which took me a good deal of time because law is very vast. So obviously directors took my 2 days, but I ensured that since my classes were done quite a long while back, I ensured that I check everything in the module, whether everything is covered in my notes, and if there is any amendment or any new point or any new example, I write it in my notes. So that was the, and understand the concept very, very well, because in directors and all, there is a lot of interlinking of provisions, and there are many sections which are applicable once, like in a single question. So you have to make sure that you can interlink them and integrate them and understand the concept really, really well, and also solve questions after doing a chapter. So what I used to do, like this is my personal opinion, not to do one section and solve uske questions, do an entire chapter, uske all sections, and then you solve questions so that you can understand whether you are able to kind of analyze which section will apply in which question. बिकॉज अगर आप तुरंत सेक्शन के बाद क्वेश्चन करोगे तो आपको पता है कि 185 का क्वेश्चन है तो वही एप्लीकेबल होगा. सो इट विल बी वेरी इजियर फॉर यू टू answer the question. And just to test myself at the very first read itself, I ensure that I do all the questions at the end after my chapter is over. And then if I don't get anything right, or if there is something missing in my notes which is there in that answer ka solution, I make sure that I incorporate that or write it on a separate sheet of paper. So this is obviously universal across all subjects. Then, here again in company law, apart from these big chapters, you have to ensure you do all the small chotu chapters also, like NCLT, winding up, which is of course a big chapter, but it is very neglected because there's a little less weightage there, and it's very not very sure if it is asked in the exam. But I would recommend you make your winding up notes very, very concise so that you can cover it in say 30 to 45 minutes maximum in your 1.5 day period. But you have to ensure that you do it because kuch bharosa nahi ho sakta. They can ask anything on earth. So you have to do all the small chapters, then the special court notices, adjudication, penalties, all of that, prosecution, all of that you have to be through, like whatever is there in your course, you have to be through with everything in company law, not only directors. Coming to economic laws, I've done economic law slightly later, which means I've not done entire law at a stretch. And when I say economic laws, I include the securities law as well, that is SEBI and LODR and SICRA. So here again, like I had taken roughly around 3 to 3.5 days to do my economic laws, and the only source which I did it from was from the institute module. So after doing the institute modules and making markings there, I ensured that I do questions, say from past attempt, RTPs, MTPs, and question papers, or you can buy a scanner where you have a compilation of all the questions to ensure that you have the flow very well in your mind, and whatever you are thinking will be the answer is actually there in the suggested answer. So again, like the flow, I'm sure everybody would be knowing, but for law, it's very important to answer the questions very, very sequentially. I mean, in a proper flow. That is, first you start with a provision. So there, that is where you quote the section number. Say section 432 of Companies Act says blah, blah, blah. You quote the bare section. Then you say in the given case, this has happened and that is why section 432 applies. And then you conclude as to like whether guilty, not guilty, or whatever is the question. Then you conclude based on your interpretation of the provisions and the facts of the question. So your conclusion has to be very, very clear. You cannot answer in a diplomatic manner because it's a law. It has to be kind of interpreted in a manner that you derive a conclusion, and that is why it has to be very, very specific and clear, unless there is some case law or there is any other contrary opinion for that matter. So based on all this, I understand that law is a very, very vast subject, and that is why your first read will take quite a lot of time. But then you have to ensure in your first read that in your second and third read and in your one day before exam, it has to be concise in a very, very nice manner. For that, you have to highlight. So what I used to do is I used to highlight, say, take two colors of highlighters. Say you take a green and a pink. So green will be all normal highlighting and pink will be something which is very statistical or something which will be as an MCQ, say 30 days or 14 days or form numbers or say some NBFC का limit इतना crores का turnover होगा तो ये IBC apply होगा, turnover net worth whatever. So all of that, like something which can be frequently as an MCQs or something which you have to memorize, that you highlight in a separate color or that you underline in a separate color. Like this is normal, but still. Then apart from that, I had made a list of all the section numbers, a list of all the form numbers. So basically, I will show you all the resources which I had used to summarize my notes and make them very, very concise. So I'll just share my screen. Okay, so this is the first document which I want to show you. Here what I've done is I've listed down all the sections of directors. So what had happened in classes was that the handwritten notes were not like sequential in the section wise order, and that is why like each section was not one after the other. So I had given a page reference as well. So as you see, I have written all the section numbers right from 149 to the end of the chapter in a sequential manner. And I've written the page from where I have to refer it so that I cover every section. And so that like when I'm revising this chapter in the morning, if I just put a hand at the particular column and I see the section number, I should be able to know what is there in particular. So this is directors chapter 11. Then there is forms list where each form number has a specific particular plus a section reference, as in say DIR2 is consent. So like where do you have to give consent? Under 152.5, which prescribes you form DIR2 to be filed. So that is how I made a list of all the forms. This is all the forms. Similarly for chapter 12, which is board meetings, and for chapter 13, which is managerial personnel ka appointment and remuneration. After this, what I had done is, like if you see in directors, there are many concepts or there are many sections which are not applicable, say to a private company or to a government company or to a section 8 company. And lately I've seen that the institute has been making integrated case studies which are for the MCQs on these points, where they give a particular section and they say it's a government company and then the section is not applicable. So the MCQs are pretty tricky and you're not able to recollect कि ये section apply हो रहा था कि दूसरा हो रहा था, या like you are not able to recollect that. So what I did is I compiled everything. Whatever is not applicable to a government company are the following sections. So if there is any question on these sections, then my mind is clear that these sections won't apply. Or कोई section आया तो I should be clear that those sections will apply. So this is with respect to government companies, and this is with respect to Section 8 company. And if there's any special point here again, see, say Section 160 does not apply to Section 8 company, only if AOA is passed and there is election by postal ballot. So that is what I've written, that this is a condition here, okay. And similarly, I had made for private company as well. And here again, see, that's small shareholders, directors is applicable only to listed companies. So you have to make a note there also. 1 minute, I've written, yeah, see, SSG under section 151 only for listed companies. So like you have to make sure that even in private company, only listed company, or somewhere it says only public company. Section 197 says only to public companies. So you have to make sure that you summarize your notes in such a manner that it is very, very exhaustive and holistic, so that if you read 1 hour before your exam, you are very clear on everything. Then the next document was the limits document for company law. So here what I've done is I've summarized all the things which can be potential MCQ questions or the case study questions, and something which you have to remember, say small company ka definition, or 151 ka SSDs, how many SSDs can apply. So all of this, I'm going to share all this in the description link. So you can just refer, which will help you and guide you as to how you can make summary notes. Then this is compromise arrangement amalgamation. So इसमें again like everything are different approvals for creditors and for members. So you have to ensure that you write everything so that you can easily solve these questions. ये सब subjective questions में भी आता ही है of course. फिर operation mismanagement again, like this is something you have to remember and it's very very important. So class action में क्या है और normal operation mismanagement में क्या है, you have to remember all that. So that I've written. Then registered value as a qualification, everything. Then removal of name from register. All these choto chapters also you have to do, and that is why you summarize all of this so that you don't miss out on anything which will fetch you very good marks if you remember it. Then this is winding up. So again, like for winding up, there are many limits. So I made sure that everything is concise here. All the number of days and everything. Then report by company liquidator. Then contributory का definition दो है. Like there is one for filing of petition and one for calling of money. So that you have to define and keep it very clear. Okay, so all of this. Then Nidhi company. इस पे भी एक integrated MCQ था, I think in the last MTP or something. Okay, so that's it. Then coming to economic laws again, I have not remembered all the section numbers in economic laws because it's practically not possible. But what I had essentially done was to make sure that I remember all the important section numbers or the section numbers which are very very frequently asked. So if you see here, like each chapter का पांच छह section numbers only I have listed down, which I want to remember क्योंकि वो generally पूछे जाते हैं. For example, capital account transaction, current account transaction, ये पूछते ही है. So that you remember. But बाकी like you can't remember everything. It's not possible. Then IBC का काफी पूछते हैं, तो उसका I made a slightly bigger list. And SARFIC, PMLA, FCRA. That's it. Here also like all the important sections only. Then economic laws ka again, if you see like under each act which we have under economic laws, there's a special provision for appeals and revision, or rather only appeals. So here it's very very confusing क्योंकि कोई act में 30 days में है, कोई act में 45 days में है, कोई act में 60 days में है. तो अगर आप individually पढ़ोगे तो आपको सब याद रहेगा. But if you see everything as a whole, because exam में all chapters are going to come, it will become very difficult. So what I made was I ensured that एक ही साथ मैंने सब अपील के provisions लिख दिए. So this is FEMA, then this is SEBI and SICRA, and this is SICRA का बाकी सब like special cases जिसमें for example delisting और वो सब का 15 days है और बाकी सब का different timelines है. So that is what I made sure that I write here. Then SARFIC, then FCRA and then PMLA. So all your appeals ka provisions are at a stretch together so that you do not get confused between each and you are able to bifurcate कौन से में कौन सा appellate authority और क्या time limit है. Then if you see this is so here now we have all the general limits apart from appeals where you have to remember something. So this is again SEBI, SICRA. I will attach all of this. I'm just quickly going through. Then SARFIC. So this was very important. So I like double highlighted this. Then FCRA. FCRA में भी काफी चीजें याद रखने की. All the registration procedure and everything. Suspension, cancellation, compounding, confiscation. Then arbitration, conciliation में तो 2-3 points ही थे, but I made sure I write all of that. Okay. So this, apart from this, there are certain case laws in company law as well as in IBC. So you need not remember the case law का नाम as in the party का name, but you need to remember what was the decision which was finally held. So some of them were covered in my notebooks, but there were quite a few which were not covered. So I made a list of all of them based on some notes by some author. So here, like I've compiled all of that, all the IBC decisions and company law का थोड़ा बहुत decisions, like operation mismanagement में है, compromise arrangement में है और directors में 2-3 है. That's it. So like it's necessary to understand the crux of whatever it is, so that if you get a question on this, then you are able to answer it properly. Now, apart from this, you should also kind of make a list of all the penalties under both company law and economic laws. Now, this is a very time consuming thing, but I would recommend you just make a list and you need not read it every time or need not try to remember it because it is practically not possible. But what you can do is exam ke din subah, you can refer that list and try to remember as many as you can. And when you make the list, also mark the important ones or the ones which are frequently asked. That is why, like, अगर आपको time नहीं मिला, so you just refer the star marked ones during the exam day so that you can remember them because सब याद रहना is not very practical and feasible. Now, I would just like to kind of show you all how I made a 1.5 day plan. One more thing which I forgot. Yeah. So, in your second or in your third read, you should ensure that जो भी chapters आपको लगे, they are taking a lot of time. And like in your 1.5 day, you won't be able to cover them. You make short voice memos so that you can kind of, it'll ensure that you revise also once because you're making voice memos in your own voice. So it will act as a second revision or another addition to your revision. And apart from that, if you listen to them Monday before exams and you flip through the pages, it will be very, very fast and you can save upon a lot of time, which will ensure that you cover your syllabus 100%. So this is a 1.5 day plan here, which I've made. Like it should be time wise and minute wise. And whatever is left, like during exams, you just tick mark whatever is done, like as and when you do it. और कुछ रह गया तो p करके लिख दो so that बाद में like on the second day or the third day in the morning you can refer it. So this is just for your reference. And like next to each chapter, you also write where you are supposed to read that from. Say for example, compromise arrangement में मैंने अलग reference sheet बनाया था तो उधर से. Then if you see IBC module plus amendments का sheet which I had made, compounding module, so all of that. And last में subah, as I told you, like I was supposed to read all the basically all the sheets which I shared with you today. All of that was for last minute revision, which is from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So all of that I had written here. So that's about it. And like on the exam day in the 15-minute time period, it is very, very important that you have a proper sequential order of what questions you're supposed to attempt. So in law, there are MCQs. So you do not see the MCQ questions in 15 minutes. You refer it after the 3-hour time limit begins and you solve it as and when you read it. You need not read it pehle and then choose or anything in MCQs. So read karke you turant solve and you underline all the important points. And if you are not allowed to underline in your exams, if the supervisor restricts you, then you write on the last page in pencil whatever are the important or tricky things which you think can change your MCQ ka answer so that you can analyze your question and answer very well. Then after MCQs, like MCQs, you will give half an hour and after that you will attempt in the rest 2.5 hours, you will attempt 100% of your theory paper, which is 70 marks. Now for the 70 marks, the most important thing is your planning, which comes in the 15-minute reading time. So in the reading time, you have to make sure that number one, you eliminate one question which you are not supposed to answer due to options. And number two, you order all of the questions in a very sequential manner. Now here, my personal opinion for law would be like if there are certain questions where, say if it's a 10-mark question and there is breakup given, 2 marks for each subpart or 1 mark. If there's something like that, then I believe if you know the answer and it's very straightforward, then you should kind of attempt it first, or you should not leave such a question in option. And you should leave such question in options where you think that it is slightly more subjective or where the examiner is at a discretion to give you slightly lesser marks, or there is some controversy around it. Say there are 2 different answers, one of a different author and one of the suggested answer or something like that. That is something which you can leave an option. And obviously, like I will cover this in a separate video also, how you're supposed to write like the easiest ones first and then cover all the parts where you are slightly confused on. Or if in between like the 3-hour period, if you don't if you feel that the answer you were thinking is now not correct, then you should not think too much over it. You should continue the rest of the paper and then come back to that question. That will give you some leeway and you may come up with the correct answer later on when you refer the question back. So that is it about the paper, and just keep going. And law is something which is very, very interesting but very vast, and that is why you have to ensure that you cover everything, plus you revise it regularly and just understand how you're supposed to answer it and present it very well, underline on the important points. That's it. I hope this was useful to all of you. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Happy studying.